Hi and welcome to POPI awareness training. What is POPI? The Protection of Personal Information Act is a far-reaching data protection law that regulates the processing of personal information in South Africa. It's designed to protect people from data breaches and cybercrime and to prevent intrusive marketing practices. The Act and the regulations provide clear rules and a means of enforcement with penalties consisting of substantial fines and/or criminal charges. This Act was promulgated in 2013, but only comes into full effect on the 1st of July 2021. What are the legal consequences? As mentioned, there are fines, typically around R1 million per infringement, and jail sentences of up to 10 or 12 years, depending on the type of data processed. Why do we have to talk POPI? You need to know if you are affected by the POPI Act. You need to know how to comply to the POPI Act. You should also know how you are as an individual protected by this Act. And you need to know what to do when there is a data breach. So what data is personal? Data related to a natural person as well as a juristic person. Juristic person is a legal entity like a company or a trust. Information regarding the race, gender, sex, pregnancy, marital status, national, ethnic or social origin, color, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental health, well-being, disability, religion, conscience, belief, culture, language, and birth of a person. Information relating to the education or medical, financial, criminal, or employment history of a person. Any identifying number, symbol, email address, physical address, telephone number, location number, online identifier, or other particular assignment to the person. Biometrical information of the person. The personal opinions, views, and preferences of that person. Correspondence sent by that person that is implicitly or explicitly of a private or confidential nature, or further correspondence that would reveal the contents of the original correspondence. The views or opinions of another individual about that person, and the name of the person if it appears with other personal information relating to the person, or if the disclosure of the name itself would reveal information about that person. The scope of this is very far-reaching, and it is therefore difficult to know exactly how to classify all data. What is special data? So special personal information refers to personal information concerning the religious or philosophical beliefs, race or ethnic origin, trade union membership, political persuasion, health or sex life or biometric information of a subject, or the criminal behavior of a data subject, to the extent that the information relates to the alleged commission of an offense, or any proceedings in respect of any offense allegedly committed, or the disposal of such proceedings. Now, what does processing mean? Processing means any operation or activity or any set of operations, whether or not by automatic means, concerning personal information. So the collection, receipt, recording, organization, collation, storage, updating or modification, retrieval, alteration, or consultation or use of that data is considered processing. Dissemination by means of transmission, distribution by making available in any other form, or merging or linking, as well as restriction, degradation, erasure, or destruction of information, is processing that information. Effectively, that means that something is being done with the personal data that is being collected. There are 8 conditions which you need to comply to to lawfully process the data. These 8 conditions will be dealt with in much more detail in the second POPI course, and is of concern to those who process POPI data. Now, since not everybody processes POPI data, we'll deal with these very quickly in this course and deal with them in much more detail in the second course. But you have to have accountability, lawfulness, purpose limitation, restriction on further processing, information quality, openness, security safeguards, and data subject participation to comply with the POPI Act. There's also a required risk assessment, and this is what everybody will now do. And it is to identify all reasonably foreseeable internal and external risks to personal information in its possession or under its control. And the questions you need to ask yourself are, do we really need to collect this personal information? How long do we need to retain it? Who else needs access to it, and how will they safeguard it? And how might somebody illegally gain access to it? And obviously the first question for everybody is, do I actually process personal information? And if I do, I need to ask these 4 questions. What am I required to do? Well, you're required to have awareness training. You're also required to read our POPI policy and our PIA manual, which are provided with this course. Your employment contract will have been amended to include conditions for POPI, and this course will assist you in accepting that amendment. From a company point of view, all of our vendor and contract and our customer contracts will need to be amended to include POPI. And you need to complete your own impact assessment by identifying all personal data that you process and ensuring that the correct measures are taken to make the processing compliant. What is the process to be? So how will your process change going forward? Now, a lot of the measures that we can use to ensure the safekeeping of POPI data are the following. So de-identification or scrubbing of the personal information is one aspect, and this is aligned with the minimization of POPI data. The less we process the data, the less the data we store, the less of a risk we have. Password protection. Ensuring that access to the electronic equipment and all online records are password protected and that access is limited. Encryption. So scrambling the contents of a set of information using mathematical techniques limits people from being able to commit cybercrime around that data. Physical storage cabinets or archives that are locked. So all documents containing personal information should be kept behind secure doors and access keys limited in a very similar mechanism to how we put encryption keys on the data and limit access using passwords. And then destruction of the data. Records should be kept of what PI has been destroyed and when. So destruction of the data, to be compliant, needs to have a record of that destruction. Also ensure that when laptops or copiers with memories are returned to suppliers that they've been cleaned and that you have proof of that data destruction. Thank you. That is the high-level POPI course. I trust you've understood the information, and if you have any questions, you will contact IT. There is further reading material listed below, and there are the manuals and policies that we mentioned to read further.